So welcome everybody. So we're going to do polarity practice today. Polarity. So you could think of we talked a little bit about the yin-yang sign last week, but that's like a polarity. So you've got the dark and the light. We all have dark and light within us. We have a shadow self. It's always good at popping up every now and again. So polarity, think about the north-south poles of the earth, which have a magnetic pull. Every single cell in your body has polarity. Every single cell has a north and a south pole. And modern life, very particularly sort of the use of electrical equipment, and all the things we can't see that come into our body constantly through Wi-Fi, can create an imbalance in the polarity of the cells. So this practice is really great for making you feel great. So you don't have to do the full practice, so I'm taking you through the entire practice. You can separate it into little bits. So we're going to look at posture, so asana, and in this practice it's only forward fold and back bend. There are no twists. Then we'll start to link the breath like we would in any normal yoga practice, but start to pay attention to the pauses, because it's the pauses that become really important. Then we'll add in a ratio whilst we're moving, which is 2:1, which is the Savitri ratio, which means that we're going to ideally breathe in for 8 whilst we're moving, hold the breath in for 4, breathe out for 8, and then hold the breath out for 4, which gives you a 2:1 ratio. If that's too much, you can drop to 6:3, and if you can't hold all that information in your mind, then release the count completely and just focus on the breath, because sometimes when you build these sequences, the more you add in, the more advanced the sequence is, but it can make you feel a bit agitated, and we don't want that, because that's not what yoga is about. So you build it slowly. And then after that, we work with a visualization, so colour, and which draws the pranic flow into the body, because we know that energy follows thought. It's scientifically proven. And then we still work with the rhythms, and then it becomes a Kriya. So we end up sitting to complete the practice. And I'll take you through it. If there's any point of the practice where you just say, I can't add in any more information because I don't have the focus, then don't. So just like asana, you wouldn't suddenly go, I'm going to do the splits if you're a beginner. You'd warm up to it maybe over the space of about 5 years. It's the same with meditation and Kriya. So these are the advanced practices in yoga. You develop it slowly. So you're not suddenly going to take a complicated meditation for the mind, because it won't be able to hold that information. So when you work with meditation, you start simply with the breath, maybe the posture, and then you add in other aspects that start to stabilize the energy in the mind. Okay. So I'm going to start lying down. Head north, feet south, and remember, it's not essential, but you will get more benefit. No. So if you ever get the chance to have a look on Google and you just type in grazing animals, north-south, you'll find that animals are a lot more intelligent than us, even though we are mammals, because herds of animals graze north-south, because intuitively and instinctively they know that it's the best way for their body to receive energy. So we're just going to start with the legs straight. Take a deep breath in. Exhale with a sigh. And again, breathing in. And once more. Lovely. Now become aware of the top of the head, and as you inhale, I want you to imagine that you're pulling the breath down the body to the soles of the feet. Hold the breath in with your attention at the soles of the feet. And then exhale, bring your awareness all the way back up to the top of the head. And just pause there. And again, breathing in, attention flowing down the body with the inhale to the feet. Holding the breath in, and then exhaling all the way back up. Holding the breath out at the top of the head, and keep going. So we're just getting some direction with the breath. So obviously when we're breathing in, there's two things that are happening. Well, there's usually actually more than that, but when we're breathing in, we're just essentially breathing in oxygen, and then we're breathing out carbon dioxide. So there's that polarity in the breath itself. But we're also pulling in pranic energy and releasing pranic energy. The inhale is seen as being masculine, it's more dynamic, it's governed by the sun. And the exhale is more passive, and it's seen as feminine, governed by the moon. So notice the different quality of the breath. So as we breathe in, we're drawing in this really lovely dynamic energy, and as we exhale, it's that sense of letting go, surrendering. Good, now bring the right knee towards you, interlace the hands on the shin. So remember, the polarity sequence is a series of forward folds and back bends. So breathe in, imagine that breath coming down through the body. Pause with the breath in, and then exhale, lift the head to the knee. Inhale to lower. Pause, and exhale to lift. Lovely. Now we're going to add in, if it feels okay for you, we're going to add in a count. So as you exhale, breathe out for 8. Hold the breath out for 4. Inhale, lowering for 8. Hold the breath in for 4. Exhale for 8, lifting the head. Hold for 4. So you hold the squeeze for 4. One more. Lovely. Release the leg. Change sides. Take a breath in first for a count of 8. If 8's too much, try 6, 3. Hold the breath in for 4. Exhale into the posture for 8. Hold for 4. Breathe into lower. So there's a lot to focus on, which keeps the mind quiet because you have to hold the focus. Lovely, and release. Bend both knees, soles of the feet on the floor. So we're going to start the sequence of back bends, forward folds. And we'll start with just the breath, and then we'll add in the count. So as you inhale, sweep the arms over and push the bottom off the floor. Hold the breath in. And as you exhale, bring the hands back. Keep exhaling until you find yourself in coil. Hold the breath out, so there's a pause. And then inhale, feet down, arms over. Keep inhaling, lift the bottom off the floor. Hold the breath in. And exhale all the way back. So you continue the exhale into coil. Pause. Inhale. Arms over, feet down, push up. So that all of that in one breath in. Exhale. Good, now we're going to breathe in for 8 or 6. Keep lifting all the way up. Hold the breath in for 3 or 4, depending on how the count is in. And then exhaling, 6 or 8. Hold the breath out, 3 or 4. Keep going. So when we work with this breath, it forces us to pause. And as humans, modern humans, we don't do that very often. So that you can meet some resistance with the mind, that it's too slow. So observe that. Good, now roll to one side, come down so that you're in prone and the head is facing north. So there's a little bit of stop-start with the mental focus in order to get into the next position. Hands under the shoulders, so the back bend here is cobra. Inhale for 6 or 8. Hold for 4 or 3. Exhale, push back into swan. Just continue the rhythm, or if it's just too much at the moment, then just do a breath in and out, but make sure you're observing the pauses. Inhale, come up, back into cobra, so you're sort of sinking the body down. Hold. Exhale to push back. Hold the breath out. Inhale. Exhale. So essentially we're pushing the rhythm through the body's cells by using just the forward fold and the back bend. This time come up into cat on the inhale, so now back bend, forward fold. Exhaling, 6 or 8. Keep going. Good, the next back bend, so you're breathing in, stepping the right leg forward, sweeping the arms up. Use the count, 6 or 8. Hold the breath in. Exhale, back into cat. Left leg forwards on the next breath in. Exhale, back into cat. Good, and keep going. Right leg now. So make sure as you step the leg through, you start the inhale, because the arm movement takes you into the back bend. Exhaling. Left leg. Notice any resistance to the slowness of the breath. One more to the left. Good, next inhale, tuck the toes, lift the gaze. Exhale, down dog, so down dog becomes the forward fold. Don't forget to hold the breath out. And then when you're ready, you breathe in again, back into cat. Keep going. If you struggle to reach the count, then you're breathing in too quickly. So focus the mind. Remember, yoga is ultimately all about the control of the mind. It's very easy to do a very focused posture class and be thinking about your shopping or other things. It's much harder to hold the mental focus inwards. Good, one more. And next time we end up in down dog, we're going to use the exhale to walk the feet towards the hands, so at the front of the mat. Next inhale, bend the knees, sweep the arms up. Hold the breath in. Exhale, fold, soften the knees. And again. Good. So one more lifting up, and then we're going to take this into a really slow sun salute, because the sun salutations are just a sequence of forward folds and back bends. Good. So for the back bend, take the right leg back, drop the knee, lift the gaze. Exhale into down dog. Be aware of the breath and the pauses. If count becomes too much, then just observe the breath and the pause. Drop the knees, sweep through. Down dog. Right leg forwards, drop the left knee, lift the gaze. Exhaling when you're ready. All the way up. Notice that if you lose concentration, you'll forget the pauses probably, and you'll just rush into the next movement. Left leg back, lift the gaze. Down dog. Sweeping through. You can also use cat-cow instead of the sweep through if that's better for your wrists and back. Left leg through. And again, we'll do another round. Pay attention to the mind. Be aware of any tendencies, which I think most of us have, to rush. So it's the pauses in pranayama that become really important. Because it's only in the pause of the breath that the mind becomes truly still. Sweeping through. Left leg through. All the way up. Hands just to the heart space. Now again, just close the eyes. I want you to just notice any resistance to the slowness of the sequence, sort of emotionally and mentally, because it's something that we're not used to. We're just slowing everything down so there's not as much stimulation. So we'll add in a warrior one with the arms raised for the back bend now. Inhale, nice and slowly, sweep the arms up. Hold the breath and fold. Hold the breath out. Step back on the right leg. Use that breath in to come up with the arms. Hold the breath in. Back into down dog. Hold the breath out. Use a cat-cow if you prefer, or a sweep through for the back bend into cobra. Exhaling when you're ready into down dog. Right leg comes through, start the breath in, sweep the arms all the way up. Step forwards, Uttanasana. Sweep up. And fold forwards. Take the left leg back this time. Start the breath in as you sweep up. Stepping back on the exhale. Cat or sweeping cobra. Exhale. Left leg through. Sweep the arms up. Forward fold. All the way up. All the way down. So we're just going to do a few more simple forward fold back bends. Sweep the arms up. If you feel that your back prefers you to have the hands in the lower back to take the pressure out of the sacrum, then hands to the hips. I want you to start to close the eyes now. And really get a sense of moving this wave-like rhythm, the Savitri, through the body. And you can give the breath some colour in your mind. So as you're inhaling, you're pulling in a golden, shimmering light, which is dynamic, like the sun, filling the body. And as you exhale, you're releasing a cooling, passive, silver light of the moon. So what we're doing by using visualization is we are directing the prana in the body, because energy, which is what prana is, it's the energy of the universe, everything that exists is prana, is following the thought. So we're directing it through the cells. So try and hold as much focus on whatever level you can. We're going to do another 3. Now, trying to keep that sort of calmed internal awareness. Bring yourself back down. Have anything you need to keep warm handy. And we're going to lie down, head north. So we're going to start the stages of the Kriya. There's 3 stages. So stage 1 is in Shavasana, and it's called Anuloma Viloma. Bring your attention to the top of the head, and as you inhale, count the breath down to the feet for a count of 8. Remember, you can always use a 6 if 8's too much. Hold your attention at the soles of the feet for 4. And then breathe back up the body with your awareness for 8. And hold the breath out at the top of the head for 4. Inhaling, let the breath and the awareness of the energy flow down the body for 8. Hold your attention at the soles of the feet for 4. All the way back up for 8. Hold your attention at the top of the head and just keep going. Really hold the focus. So remember, when we move to these type of practices, this is what advanced yoga is. It takes more focus. Now we're going to add in visualization. So remember, if at any point it's just too much for the mind to hold, then just go back to the basic. So as you inhale now, we release the count, and we're just bringing in this golden, shimmering energy. So the count should have established itself within the body, so you will naturally continue to breathe in that rhythm. Hold the gold energy at the soles of the feet, and then silver as it travels back up the body. Hold the silver at the top of the head and keep going. So it's gold in, the sun, dynamic, masculine energy. And then the feminine silver on the exhalation. So we're bringing about balance of the body, mind. If you feel you want to count and visualize, that's fine too. Observe the focus. It may wander. Just acknowledge that it has. Bring it back to the direction of the breath, the pranic flow. Good. Now we're going to add in the sound of Om. So you can again release the count and release the colour, or you can keep that flowing as well. Entirely up to you. As you inhale, imagine pulling the sound of Om down the body to the soles of the feet. And then as you exhale, the sound is coming back up through every single cell. So Om is said to and believed to be the sound that was created when the Big Bang happened. It's the sound that created the universe. So it's within all of us. Feel that sense of deepening inwards to the internal landscape of the physical vehicle. And with that deepening comes an expansion of the mind. Now very carefully, keeping that internalized awareness, bring yourself back up to sitting. Keep the eyes closed if you're able to. So as you build this sequence, you get to the point where the mind has become more disciplined and you're able to actually start in the seated position. And then eventually you drop away all the posture work and you go straight into the final Kriya as an advanced practice. So I'm just breaking it down for you. So spine straight, eyes closed. And again, make sure you're facing north. Eyes closed and bring the hands into the lap, so one's on top of the other. So we create a sealed energy field. Bring your attention to the top of the head. Inhale, bring the count down from the head to the perineum. So you're going from the crown to Muladhara chakra, all the way through the spine for a count of 8. Hold the breath in your awareness at the base of the body, in the perineum for 4, and then bring that awareness back up for a count of 8. Hold your attention at the crown of the head for 4, and keep going. So from my experience of this practice, I imagine that my eyes are like cameras, even though they're closed, and that they're moving down the body with the energy. And then they stay in the base chakra, and then they come back up again. So that might not be your way of doing it. So we all have different personalities and different types of attention. So find what works for you, so you can guide this energy through the cells. Keep going, and again, just notice the resistance of the mind and the body to be still. Maybe you've dropped into that different space now where there isn't any resistance. Good, now we're going to add in the gold as we breathe in. You can continue the count or release it, depending on whether the breath has naturally started to flow to that rhythm without you needing to count it. Gold all the way down. Silver on the exhale, back up to the crown of the head. Bring the focus back if it wanders off. Good, now replace with Om. As you breathe in, the mantra Om. So just hearing it on the breath. And on the exhale, it's traveling down and back up. So it's only when we allow ourselves to be totally still and we use meditation as a structure that we can truly know ourselves. Because the rest of the time we're sort of moving around all over the place, we're being stimulated by sensory inputs, and we're being distracted. Just hearing the Om silently on the breath. Good, now we're going to move into the final part, which is called Prana Kriya. I want you to take one of your hands, bring the first two fingers to the third eye and rub it. Keep the breath just nice and steady. So as you breathe in through the nose, you're sort of really bringing the attention to Ajna chakra, and then tap it slightly. So our pineal gland is directly back from the third eye and slightly down in a diagonal. Our third eye. And this really opens our awareness to the duality of our existence. But it feels like we are separate, but we are not. So I'm going to take you through this deeper practice. Okay, now release the hand, bring it back. Notice there's a tingling. I want you to turn your attention up to the tingling. So you keep the eyes closed, but turn your attention up to the third eye. So you're looking to that space at the third eye, the dark space in front of the eyes where you see the dreams at night, and the dreams are our subconscious mind. Good. Now as you inhale for a count of 8, I want you to imagine that you're drawing a line outwards from inside your brain, from the center of the brain. Hold the breath out, so your attention is now out beyond the physical body. And then exhale that line back in. So it's coming into the head. And keep going. So use the rhythm to start with, the count. And to start with, you might find that you can only bring your attention a little bit out, and that's fine. And eventually the attention moves beyond the bioplasmic field, so the energy body, which is about 12 fingers width away from the nose. And then eventually it moves even beyond that. And you may get to the point, if you're familiar with this practice, you may get to the point where you can extend your awareness out into the universe. As Buzz Lightyear says, to infinity and beyond. And then on the exhale, it's coming back in. And you're pausing inside the brain. And then you go back out again. And this is reflected in lots of ancient scriptures, in many traditions, as above, so below. As great as the infinite space beyond us is the space within the lotus of the heart. So we are part of the universe, but the physical body makes us feel as if we're separate, but we're not. We're all interconnected. We're very much part of the universe. Good, now when you're ready, I want you to just extend that line out. You can drop the count. Let yourself naturally pause, so the pause just naturally happens. And then you bring it back in, and you just keep going, pausing inside the brain. If you're attuned to energy, you might start to feel a very strong tingling at the third eye, maybe at the crown of the head, the back of the neck. Good, now and then longer practice, I would just get you to continue this until it just stopped naturally. But in the next 2 to 3 breaths, I want you to allow the final exhale to just stay with your awareness inside of the head. And I don't want you to breathe until you feel like you need to. When you find that resting space within inside the head, this is called the cave of the yogis. And what happens in advanced practices that are based around pranayama and meditation is completely spontaneously the breath will stop. So you're not thinking about it, it just happens. And the mind rests in this space within you. And it's a form of spontaneous samadhi, which is the final stage of yoga. And just be aware of that space within you. And there's a deep stillness to the physical vehicle, to the body. There's also an observer. And the observer isn't your name. The observer isn't what you do for a living or your relationship to other people. It's not your emotions or your body. and it's not your thoughts. But there is an observing presence. Sometimes it's called the observer, the witness, the self, a particle of infinity. Whatever you want to label it, it's just a word, but notice that there is a presence observing the stillness of the physical body, the vehicle that carries it. And this is the true self. Breathing is the flow of the divine, where the rhythms of life turn into each other, the eternal exchange. Pour one breath into the other, out breath into the in breath, into the out breath, and awaken to equanimity, at peace in the play of opposites. And with one sweep of attention, gather in the whole universe and remember it as your body of bliss. The deep rhythms of life pulsating. Stir an ambrosia, flowing and overflowing everywhere. Drink the nectar of all-pervading joy from the radiant cup that is this very body. So see if you can sense beyond the physical body. If you're in the room with me, see if you can sense others around you and the bioplasmic field. Maybe you can sense beyond the room that you're in, the other people in your house, the people outside of the street. Just sensing beyond our basic human senses, which are based in ego. So we react through our lower senses. But there is this sense in the third eye, which is intuition and a sensitivity to energy. And then carefully bring the hands to the heart space, keeping the eyes closed. And you really get this sense of, oh, I'm in the physical body again. Let the hands rub together. And then bring the palms of the hands, once they're warm, to the eyes. So you feel the heat moving into the eyes. And then open the eyes behind the hands, flutter the eyelids a little bit. Almost as if the individual self inside the heart space is now going, oh, I've got a body. And you're looking to the skin. And then again, close the eyes, bring the hands back to the heart space. Breathe in, sweep the arms all the way up. And down through the midline. And namaste.